everyone, welcome to another installment of a Playground Sessions live lesson. I'm Phil, I'll be your teacher for the day, and I'm really excited because we're right in the middle of our music theory month. You guys voted on a topic of music theory, and then we structured out the whole month to give you a different lesson every week on a different avenue within music theory. So we're pumped about that. We're going to be getting into a lot of that stuff today. But first, I want to make a quick announcement. We're doing something special right now in the Playground Sessions interactive app. We're doing a 30-day challenge. Now, we have a lot of content in the app, so of course already you could have found 30 days worth of stuff to play, but that would require you to go and dig for it on your own. What we're pumped about right now for this 30-day challenge is we've got a dedicated course in the app called 30-Day Challenge, and every day, starting today, we already released day one lesson. Every day we're going to be putting out a new lesson with me in a video form, walking you through how to play the exact segment that you see in your app. So you'll open your app, you'll go to day one. The first thing you'll see is a video with me, and in fact I'm going to preview that video for you guys today in just a minute, okay? I'm going to walk you through none other than The Entertainer. That's the song I was just messing around with a second ago. Okay? We're going to do a rookie/intermediate level version of that. And we're going to walk through that whole main theme, both hands. And this is really intended for people who, maybe you have some experience in the app or at the keyboard, but even if you're day one at the piano, you'll still be able to do this with us if you can commit to clocking in every day. Day one, day two, day three, day four, you're clocking in and you're practicing what I'm teaching you, okay? It's going to be a fun experiment, and I'm looking forward to seeing the results. So today's day one. Tomorrow, another new lesson. The day after, another new lesson. The weekends, new lesson every day for 30 days. So we're really excited about it. We just released day one today, so what I'd like to do is show you guys a little preview of day one. I'm going to send to that now, and then you can see what I'm talking about. I hope that that will motivate you guys to check out the full course in the app and commit to this 30-day challenge with us. So here's a bit of day one's first lesson. Hey everyone, welcome to the Rookie Level 30-Day Challenge. I'm Phil, I'll be your teacher for this journey, and today we're going to kick off our 30-day lesson on The Entertainer by Scott Joplin. In fact, he was also a music educator, and he taught the next generation of ragtime composers, so he really was the father of this style of music. I'm pumped to be able to bring this to you guys. Now, the arrangement that we're going to be learning in this 30-day period is a simplified rookie-level arrangement. But I promise you, it's actually quite challenging, even for some of you intermediate players who maybe have played for a while, or you've already been a Playground Sessions app user for a while. You're still going to have some fun with this song arrangement too. Every day for 30 days, we're going to be building a little bit and a little bit on top of what we did the day before. We're going to actually get into something in today's video. We're going to start with lesson 1 today. And then by day 30, lesson 30, you're going to be able to play the whole phrase from this arrangement. So the arrangement we'll be doing in this 30-day challenge sounds like this. Yes, I mean it. If you guys can commit to clocking in every day with me here in the Playground Sessions app for this 30-day challenge, that by day 30 you will have the tools you need to play what I just played. Not just the first phrase, not just the right hand, but all of that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with our day one lesson on the right hand melody in the first phrase. Now, there may be some things that you see on screen here that are new to you, maybe unfamiliar, but I ask you to be patient. We're going to dive right in, and as we go through each of our 30 days. All right, so that is just a preview. Now, again, that was mostly just setting up the 30-day course, but you can see then we get into actual real notation, and this is a day one lesson. We're not going to have to teach you all the theory stuff up front before you can start playing. All right, we want to get you playing, and I'm going to teach you that stuff as we go. I think it's going to be a great 30 days. I really want to encourage everyone, even if you think that that arrangement was too easy for you, I really, really want to encourage everyone to clock in every day, because it's more about building that habit, right? It's more about building that routine of practicing every day. And before you know it, 30 days goes by, you're going to be playing something you didn't even know you could play. So it's really exciting. I can't express it enough, right? We're pumped. Tomorrow, brand new lesson for those of you who already did day one today, okay? All right, so today, in this lesson, we're talking about music theory. It's Music Theory Month, after all, because you guys voted on that topic. So, last week we talked about pitch. That's one of our pillars. Individual note. On the piano, that's any key, right? And then we talked about groups of individual notes, like scales. We talked about the way that theory can organize and scales, different scales can organize notes into different groups for different effects. There's all sorts of stuff we talked about with single notes. Today, we're building on that. Next week, we're going to switch gears and talk about rhythm, and then we're going to talk about form and genres at the end of the month. But today, we're building on the single note lesson by talking about harmony, okay? Harmony is more than one pitch or note played at the same time. Okay, a scale, you could say, is a group of notes played one at a time. Harmony would be when you play them at the same time, okay? So that's kind of a fancy official way of talking about chords, right? Any kind of a chord is harmony if you play more than one note at a time. So today we're going to talk a lot about chords, but it's going to be different from past lessons we've done on chords. I want to make that point because we've done lessons on chords for chord progressions. How do we come up with great chord progressions? And how do we refer to them by numbers? That was about playing and about thinking about progressions. We've also talked about playing chords and spicing them up, right? How do you play a spicier chord than you were playing the day before? Today, we're going to wrap chords up in theory, harmony, chord theory. And what that means is we're going to talk about the building blocks of chords. We're going to talk about how to analyze chords when you see them in notation. We're going to talk about the quality of chord and how you can tell what that is. You got to know a lot of theory to be able to do that, okay? So that's what today's lesson is going to be all about. Before we jump in, I just want to look at the chat because I'm seeing a lot of stuff going on. I just want to say hey to you guys. And so I saw Lily May say something. Oh, I saw Lily May say that. Lily says, I learned Maple Leaf Rag for my grandpa a ways back. Hardest melody I have learned. The Maple Leaf Rag, Lily May, is a great tune. I'm glad you brought that up because it's the same composer. That's Scott Joplin as well. I've been playing the Entertainer for so long over the last few days now, I'm kind of blanking on how Maple Leaf Rag goes. Entertainer, Maple Leaf Rag is, oh yeah, it's... Okay, I'm getting there, but I won't learn that in front of you guys. But what a great tune. It still employs that same kind of stride piano style where you play a low root and then you jump up. Well, it doesn't even have to be a root. A low note, and then you jump up to a higher chord. So I think in Maple Leaf Rag we have A flat, then we jump up to an A flat major triad. Then we go to E flat roots and we play E flat triads. So you have this bouncy left hand. That's very characteristic of that style of music. And then in the right hand, we have some syncopated melodies, and that's also characteristic of that style. So way to go, Lily May. I'd love for you to post a video of yourself playing the arrangement because we always love to see your covers here at Playground. So thanks for sharing. How else are we doing up here? I see somebody was asking, where's the teacher? That's me. I'll be your teacher for the day. So why don't we jump right into it and start teaching. today is all about harmony. The first thing we're going to talk about to get into harmony is intervals, okay? Now, an interval, for those who don't know, is a way to talk about the distance in between two notes. We have a lot of different notes on the keyboard, so you could say there's a lot of different intervals, but as we know, the octave repeats. So there's really only 7 letters, right? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then they repeat. We know this stuff, so we know there's not 88 different intervals, or actually it'd be more, right? We're only going to be taking a look at what happens within an octave. And I'll give you a preview of what happens outside of the octave, but I do want to keep today's lesson more in the 101 territory, okay? So let's discuss intervals, because later in this lesson we're going to talk about how to build and how to analyze certain chords, and we're going to need our interval knowledge for that. Last thing I'll say before I teach you, the first pop quiz of the day, and yes, there will be more than one, is going to be on what we're about to cover for intervals. So to jog your guys' memory, last week we tried this for the first time and we're doing it again. We're giving away a free song credit for correct answers for these pop quizzes. It's fun. I think we had like 6 winners last time. So what I need you guys to do is get your fingers ready at your computer keyboards, because when I ask you for the official pop quiz question, I'm going to have you type your answers and we're going to pick from the correct answers. We've got Aiden here helping me as usual, and today we also have Andrew in the mix. He's going to be moderating in the comments as playground sessions, and he's actually going to be the one choosing the winners today. It's going to help me out quite a bit so I don't have to dig through the comments. So say hey to Andrew, everyone, and he'll tell you how to redeem your free song credit if you win. You're going to email support, yada, yada, yada. He'll hook up with you on that, okay? So we're going to get into intervals, and then we're going to have a quick little pop quiz on intervals, so make sure you're paying attention. Okay, here we go. The first thing we're going to start with is an octave. From the distance from one note to the same letter note, okay? Let's think about it like that for the keyboard. So here's G. What's an octave above this G? It'd be a G. Is it this G? No, that's 2 octaves. G, G. There's 1 octave. It's the distance from one letter to the next consecutive same letter, okay? There's our octave. Now we're going to start now from the smallest interval on our first note, and then we're going to build our way up back to that octave. The distance between an octave, we can refer to distance by half steps, okay? There's a name for every interval, but we could also talk about how many half steps are in between the notes when we have given intervals. So let's talk about an octave. We're going to start on our first note. We're not going to count that. Then we're going to start counting. Here's 1 half step, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The 12th step would be you're at the octave, right? And we know that that is the case. So that can be our test. Now, when we have an interval of right here, does anybody know what that's called? This is not part of the pop quiz, but I want to test and make sure that you guys are actually listening and you're actually going to type when I ask you the real question. Who can tell me what this is called? What is that interval called? I know Stu probably knows this one. I know some of you guys probably know this, but if you know it, why don't you lay out and let's let somebody who may not know it try to guess, okay? So there's a name for this interval, and that name is a minor second. But what I want to talk about is how many half steps are in between these intervals, right? So this is kind of a silly trick question. The answer is a half step. That's the smallest interval that we can play on the keyboard, okay? Now in some instruments that can bend pitches, like trombone, Andrew is a trombone master, or like guitar, Aiden is in a band and he plays guitar. Those instruments can bend notes and kind of get in the cracks between a half step. You can call it a quarter tone or whatever. Okay, singers can do it too. But on the piano, that's our smallest interval. Half step, okay? That is called a minor second. Did anyone say that? Did anyone say half step, Andrew? Stu got it. Okay, we know Stu's got it. Okay, so our next widest interval is right here. Is this a chord? Technically, yeah, that could be a chord, sure. A 2-note chord or a dyad as opposed to a triad? Sure, it's harmony, right? 2 or more notes. But what is this interval called? If this one was called a minor second, this is called a major second, okay? The distance between a major second is 2 half steps. So we can start here and go 1, 2. Okay? Let's keep moving. This one right here is called a minor third. We're moving up, as you can see, by half steps, and we're comparing that to the root to get our intervals. Half step or minor second, whole step or major second. Here is a minor third. 3 half steps in a minor third. Here's a major third. 4 half steps between those 2 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? All right, moving on. This interval right here would be called a perfect fourth. You could just call it a fourth, but traditionally it's called a perfect fourth. Andrew actually could tell you more about that music history-wise. Maybe we'll do that one day if there's a desire. But it's a perfect fourth. That's all you need to know for now. We're going to move up another half step. This has a specific interval too. This is one of my favorite intervals as a jazz and blues player. That's called a tritone, okay? A tritone is arguably your most dissonant interval. There's a few other ones that also sound pretty clashy, but a tritone pretty universally is accepted as wanting to resolve. And when we say that, another way to say that would be that there's a lot of tension in that interval. It wants to either spread out or fold in to resolve. I'll show you what I mean. We can go outward to resolve like that, or we can resolve inward by half steps. Either way, that's pretty cool, right? But a tritone is like hanging on the balance of tension, right? It wants to resolve. Remember that. I might ask you later, what's the most dissonant interval that wants to resolve, okay? That's called a tritone. Now, as we move up another half step, this interval is called a fifth, or a perfect fifth, okay? All right, let's keep moving. Actually, first let's talk half steps. Sorry, I skipped that. So a perfect fifth, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 half steps. 7 half steps. Let's keep moving. What is this interval called? Well, this interval is called a minor sixth. C to G sharp or A flat. Let's call it A flat. A minor sixth, and that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 half steps in between it. Let's keep moving. A major sixth, 9 half steps. A minor 7, 10 half steps. A major 7, 11 half steps. And then an octave. We're back to 12. That's everything, guys. Now look, if we go C to this note, that's where I kind of want to draw the line for today, because again, I want this to be 101. I want this to be rookie level. But for those of you who I know are a little more advanced, I can give you a quick preview. Technically, C to C sharp is still a minor second, but when we voice it this way and we spread it out beyond an octave, we're going to start calling that a bit different, okay? So this, C to D, would be a ninth, right? 8, 9, 10. C to E is a 10th. And when we play the half steps in between, we can have a minor 9 or a flat 9. We can have I guess we wouldn't call that a minor 10th. See, now we're getting into some more complicated territory. This is kind of a sharp 9 sound. But we're going to leave it there at the octave for today for that reason, okay? So let's do a quick review, guys. If I said, what would you call an interval that has 2 half steps in between? What would you say? I know what I would say. I bet Andrew and Aiden have it. Anybody have the answer out there? This is going to be our warm-up for the pop quiz. So this is the pre-pop quiz question.
Questions too.
Okay, cool. So we'll also get to some questions in just a sec. I know you guys are chatting, and I appreciate that. But I want to get you guys some song credits too. So Aiden, why don't we throw up the pop quiz title? And we're going to do pop quiz intervals here. This is the practice question, okay? What would you call the name of the interval where you have to count 2 half steps up, okay? Now, let's check the comments. I'm seeing a couple major seconds. Cody Boss, major second. Lily Mae Pianist, major second. Ludi Love, I remember your name from last time. Good to see you again. Stu, major second. Good job, you guys. You're with me, okay? So, I'm seeing a couple other people writing in. You're close. Minor third is close. So, check this out. Here's C. We're going to start there. And my question was, if you go 2 half steps, where are we at? 1, 2. That is a major second. Now I realize I might have been confusing because I said how many half steps are in between. That kind of looks like there's just 1 half step in between. So from now on, that's what I mean. If you count up from the first note, how many half steps until you get to your other note in that interval? So that was our practice question. You guys ready? Here's the first real question. The first correct answer that I see is going to win for this question. So get those fingers warmed up and ready. I'm going to play an interval. The first person who names that interval correctly is going to win. And Andrew is going to be searching the comments for this first correct answer. Here we go. What do we call this interval right here? We're going to have to get around the copyright on this one. All right, so I know there's a little bit of a delay here, so I'm just giving you guys a second to write in, but I'm looking for the first correct answer for what is this interval called right here? Does anybody know? Oh, I see one. Lily Mae, you got it. You got the first one right. Tina Miller, you were very close. Very quick with your answer, too, so good work. You said major 7, you were very close, but major 6 was the correct answer. Lily Mae, you did it. You are our first winner for the day. Andrew is going to reach out to you here in the chat and let you know how you can redeem your free song credit. Okay, guys, get ready. Don't go anywhere. Here's our second question. Now I'm looking for the fourth correct answer. Okay? Fourth correct answer. Don't be too fast. Ready? What is this interval called? What is that interval called? Does anybody know? And don't be the first one, because you got to be the fourth right answer. Here it is. This is a chord, too. You could argue it's a good or a bad chord voicing, but it's a chord. I see a major 7. Lily Mae, good job. You were quick on that one. But we're looking for our fourth correct answer. I see minor 7. No. I see ninth. I see major 7. I see 7th. 7th is going to be partial credit because we need to know if it's minor or major.
2.5.
All right, keep it coming, guys. I don't have my fourth right answer yet. I see a few of them. I'm not going to say it yet because I don't want you guys to all write down what I say, but I see a couple of them. I don't see 4 yet. Now, let's count the half steps if we don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. If we go one more half step, we're at an octave, okay? So that's a hint. Come one back from an octave. Oh, I think we got it.
Cody's got it.
Cody Boss, boom! So the fourth, when you're not the first correct answer, it's actually kind of hard to time that, right? I'm doing that on purpose because I don't always want our fastest, most experienced music theory people to get the prize every time. So that was awesome. Good job, everyone. I think Cody Boss, according to Andrew, was our winner for that question. We're going to do one more, and then we're going to move on, okay? All right, I'm looking for the second correct answer on this one. What is this interval called? Looking for the second correct answer. Sorry, Trebek. Got one? We got any answers yet? Minor 3rd? No, not quite. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 half steps away. What is this interval called? I'm going to start giving some hints. It is not. Okay, I'll tell you what. Lily, good job. You got it. But because you already won one, I'm going to skip you, and I'm going to go to the next one, which is Stu. Stu, you win, my friend. Stu, enjoy that free song credit. You did it. Okay, so thank you, Lily, for still participating, but I just want to let some other people win, too. This is awesome. I love this pop quiz stuff. It really makes me feel like you guys are hearing me on the other end, and we're getting some more real interactivity, so that's cool. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about why are we even talking about intervals? What's the point of this? How do we apply this interval knowledge to chord theory, which is what we're talking about today, right? All chords are built using different intervals. If you think about it, it doesn't matter what 2 notes you play, what 3, 4 notes you play. If you play them at the same time, then you look around, you're going to see distance between them, right? Those are intervals. So if we know what those intervals are, we can identify those chords more quickly in notation. And on the flip side, if we're composing, or if we're arranging, or if we're just improvising, if we know how to build these chords and we know what goes into these chords, we'll be able to call them up more quickly. And we'll have more control over them as tools for creating music, okay? So once again, the theme of this month is that theory does not get in the way of playing and musicianship. It aids your musicianship. So whatever your playing goals are, or writing, or improvising, whatever it may be at the piano, theory will help you get there. It's not going to get in the way of that, okay? So let's talk more about how to build chords with these intervals, okay? So we'll stay on intervals for now, and I just want to add a couple of intervals together and see what we get, okay? So we already know that this is a major third. Here's a minor second, minor third, here's a major third. Now this may be familiar to some of you already as a part of a chord. That's a major third, but if I added this, there's our C major root position triad, which many of you probably have played in the app already, or messing around at home, just making up music. That's a common chord. I could look at that and say, that's one chord, it's a C major chord. Or I could look at that and I could say, that's 2 different intervals. And let's analyze this for a second. What's the interval between the first and the second note that we see? We already said that's a major third, right? Okay. What's the interval between the second and third note we see? Now we're getting into something tricky, okay? Because we're no longer starting from this C as our reference point for all the intervals, okay? Now we're playing an E and a G. So it's crucial now that we actually use our half steps. We're going to count up from our first note. 1, 2, 3. So this interval is 3 half steps. Now let's go back to our C reference and remember, what is a 3 half step interval called? 1, 2, 3. That's a minor third, right? So if we do it from E, 1, 2, 3, that's also a minor third. It's the same amount of half steps. So what we have when we look at a C major chord is a major third and a minor third. We also have one more interval in here. It's the distance between the first and the third note. Right there. Pop quiz time. First right answer. What's this interval? Go, go, go. What's this interval? First right answer. This is a gimme for those of you who are paying attention. C major chord, I got a major third, I got a minor third, and I have this. What is that interval called? Andrew is going to shout out the first person that writes the correct answer. It's like a Frey song. Lily Mae, I'll tell you what, you are ferocious today. I'm going to give you another one because you literally have gotten 3 correct so far. I am going to get you another song credit because you won again. Good job. I'm also going to give another one to the second correct answer, okay? So who was the second correct answer, Andrew?
Looks like Glory.
Oop, let me scroll up here.
Right there.
Glory Mukaza. I'm sorry if I've mispronounced your name. I probably have. But we're going to give you a free song credit as well. So Lily, you get another one for being awesome today. And I'm sorry, I'm forgetting your name again. Was it Glory?
Yeah.
There you are. Sorry, you guys are chatting so much, I'm losing my place. That's great. Glory, we're going to give you one too because you also had a very quick response there. Now, I want to point out, I'm seeing in a couple of responses, I'm seeing major fifth. I want to make a quick correction here. Make sure that we're aware. When we're talking about seconds, thirds, sixths, and sevenths, we can have minor and major. Minor second, major second. Minor sixth, major sixth. When it comes to fourths and fifths, we don't have a minor fourth, major fourth. We have a perfect fourth. It's just that. That's the only variation of fourth. There's no major and minor. Perfect fourth, same thing goes for perfect fifth, okay? You could call it a fifth, like I said earlier, but technically it's a perfect fifth. And then here's a fifth here. If we have this, we don't call it a minor fifth. Remember, that has its own name. That's a tritone, okay? So let's get back to the C major chord. We have a major third, we have a minor third, and we have a perfect fifth on the outside. That, my friends, is a formula for a major chord. You could build a major chord from any note on the keyboard, and I'll prove it to you in a second, using that formula. Watch this. Does anybody know how to play a C-sharp major chord? I don't. So let's figure it out, okay? We're going to start on a C-sharp, and we know that we need to have a major third interval from this note. If we don't know what that is already, we can count half steps. A major third is 4 half steps up. So count with me, guys. Here's our starting note, C-sharp. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? There's our first interval, major third. Sounds good, sounds right. Now, from this note, we need to count up a minor third interval. And remember, that is 3 half steps. So we'll remember this note for now, but we'll come back to it. We got to go 3 half steps up from here. 1, 2, 3. That's a minor third. Put them together, we have our major third, we have our minor third, and let's double check and make sure that this interval is a perfect fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect fifth has 7 half steps. There we go. That is a C-sharp major chord. Okay? That's how you do it. So if anyone now ever says to you, Psh, you don't know how to make chords. You don't know how to make a chord up. Okay, prove it. Play me an F major chord. Even if you didn't know it, you could figure it out now and you could do it. You know where an F is. You know you got to count up 4 half steps to get your first major third interval. And you know you've got to count up 3 more half steps from there to get your minor third interval. And then you can say, Psh, yeah, I got this. That's an F major chord right there. Okay? The more you practice that, the faster you'll be able to do that. So it'll just become one motion eventually. Oh, what's a G sharp major chord? Oh, here's G sharp, here's the third, here's the third. Okay, there it is, G sharp major. And then it'll be even faster than that. So that's why this stuff is great to practice. It seems like an intellectual exercise, but then really when you sit down at the keyboard, you can find that you can create music with this stuff. Okay, pretty cool, right? All right, I'll tell you what, let's take a pause on intervals because we're going to get more into major and minor chords in just a second. But I want to jump back in and see if you guys have any questions for me, okay? Okay, cool. I know I've been looking at answers to my pop quiz questions, but I haven't been jumping in yet to see if you guys have any specific questions for me. So, let's see here. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything, so give me just a sec. Okay, Chad Miller. Hey, man. Chad says, no keyboard today. My power unit finally gave up the ghost. Oh, no. It was an Ensoniq Mirage sampler from 1986. Whoa. I bet that thing is probably like super in demand now, Chad. I bet you got Native Instruments. It's probably trying to imitate that old instrument in a plugin. That's pretty cool. Hold on to it just in case, because that might be a collector's item one day. Hey, man, if you're looking for a new keyboard, there's a Playground Sessions PG150. That might interest you. And if not, you can hit me up, and I can talk to you about some other keyboard options if you like. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Stu, Scott Joplin, heavily in the film The Sting. Oh, nice. That's a good little piece of trivia. I'm going to have to check that out, Stu. Thanks. Charles Smith says, this is my second live YouTube video today. I'm going to have basic theory flowing out of my ears. I hope so, Charles. That's the goal. Actually, I'll know that I've done something right if you guys are at work tomorrow and you're thinking to yourself, how many half steps are in between a sixth? What's the interval of 3 half steps? That would be awesome. And guys, that's actually a great point. That's a great way for you to practice piano when you're not in front of your piano. Theory. The brain stuff, okay? Good point. All right, Chad Miller says he'd like to be a part of the challenge. So Chad is referring to the 30-day challenge that we've just launched in the app. And if you're just joining us, I'll just briefly say what we're doing. I'm walking you through a rookie/intermediate level arrangement of Scott Joplin's The Entertainer. Okay, whatever that was. Scott Joplin's The Entertainer, 30-day lessons, 30 lessons, one every day. It's actually quite ambitious. If you guys are up for it, we're up for it. I'm going to be every day bringing a new video into the app, breaking down for you the exact segment that you're then going to go practice. Every day we'll give you a new lesson in the app. Anyways, that's it. That's the 30-day challenge. So Chad's saying you'd like to join. For any of you who would like to join, the first step is, of course, you got to get the Playground Sessions interactive app. I recognize many of your names as app users already, so thanks for already being a part of the team. But for those who aren't yet Playground Sessions app users, go ahead and go to the site, playgroundsessions.com. You can download the app. But you can also take advantage of a free trial that we like to offer to YouTubers. So if you guys are new here on YouTube, you're new to the Playground world and you want to try this 30-day challenge, take advantage of the free trial. And I'm going to have Aiden actually post a link to that, or Andrew to post a link to that in the chat. That's going to be www.playgroundsessions.com/YouTube-free-trial. And Andrew will post that for you guys so you can click right through to that. You can start a free trial in the app, and then you can start the 30-day challenge when you're in the app. For those who have the app already, if you're looking for the 30-day challenge, you're going to go to your course tab at the top, and then I believe you should be in. You should see a course called 30-day challenge. Click on it and check out day 1. It's already live. Day 2 is going live tomorrow morning. Day 3 the next day. We're posting on the weekends too. It's going to be fun. I encourage you all to join. So reach out if you have any other questions about how to join, how to participate in that. Okay, Andrew will be happy to help. Okay, Sarah Pickle says, octaves suck. They really hurt my hands. Sarah, I understand. I'll tell you what. You have a point. Octaves can be tough for some people. And we do have some solves for that, okay? You're talking about playing octaves in a song, for example. Let me give you an example of something I might do with octaves in a song. Whatever. Left hand big chords, octaves. I even went to a 10th at the end. My hand can reach a 10th. By the way, here's a bonus question for any of you out there. Name both of these intervals. Okay? We'll come back at the end and see if anyone got it. Okay, so where was I? Octaves and beyond octaves, like tenths like this, can be very tough for some people to play because some people's hands just aren't big enough. There's only so much practice you can do. If your hands are small, you're a little limited there. But luckily, octaves, well, you're playing the same note, right? 2 times. You're playing a C and a C. So if you can't reach the top C, Sarah, or anyone else out there with smaller hands, there's a couple things you can do. You can always just play the single note, but if that's too boring for you, you can actually add some rhythm to this and you can toggle between the octaves. Depends on what you're playing, of course, but look, I mean, I'll give you an example. You can play them together. Or you can add rhythm if you can't reach that. Doesn't sound much different, right? It's basically the same idea. So luckily, if you can't reach that higher octave, you're not going to be missing a crucial note because the idea with octaves is you're already playing one of them, okay? So keep that in mind, Sarah. But if you still don't want to do that and you just want it to be more full, oftentimes you can instead add the 5th. We're talking about intervals today, so I'm going to leave this one to you, Sarah. If you have C octaves, but you can't reach them, and I'm telling you you can play a C 5th instead, what note would you put up on top? You have a C down low. What's a 5th above? You can do that, okay? All right. Let's look for one more question here, and then we'll jump back in. Charles says, people start getting cute and calling a chord C17. No, I'm not messing with a C17. That's even past my pay grade there, Charles. But we can get into some crazy chords, man. Is that what you said? Wait, were you saying C17 for this? Okay, no. So there's all sorts of crazy chords we can get into, and that's going to be an advanced intervals lesson because we're talking about sharp 9s and altered chords and intervals wider than an octave. But we're not going to get into that today. Okay, let's see here. Let's get back down to the bottom. Sarah, you never thought of that. Cool, I'm glad. Yeah, Sarah, mess with that at home. I think you'll have some fun with that. Okay, Woodsy Chris says, my kids are already enrolled but not Facebook users. Fair enough. So we do some stuff in Facebook, but you never have to go to Facebook to do any of the stuff that you want to do with Playground. We understand not everyone wants to be on Facebook, and that's cool too. Here's one chord here, and then we're going to move back to here's a question, and then we're going to move back to the lesson. This one's from Glory again. I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. But this person says, also, can you make any major chords by counting 3 notes between your first and second note, and then 2 notes between the second and third note? Okay, this is a great question. This is going to segue me into talking a little bit more about chords. Before we get into looking at major versus minor chords, I want to just talk about what you're asking here. When you have different intervals between the first and second note and second and third note. So your question kind of has two parts. Can you make a chord with those intervals? That answer is yes. Is that a major chord? That answer is no. Okay? The major chord formula is and only is 4 half steps from the root and then 3 half steps up from there. That's it. So that's actually good news. That's a formula you can memorize. It only applies to major chords. But I want to play out your example here that you asked about, Glory. You say, counting 3 half steps between your first and second note. So here's our first note. 1, 2, 3. Does anyone know what interval that is? I hope you do. But for the sake of moving along, I'm going to say that's a minor third. I hope you got that right. Now, then your question is two half steps between the second and third note. 2 half steps is this. That's kind of a cool chord, right? I like that. It's vague enough or open enough that it could be more than one chord and it would still be right. But since we have a C on the bottom, I'm going to call this a C type of chord. And then here we have an interval of a minor third. So I'm going to say that this is a C minor something. Okay? We're getting closer to the name of this chord. C minor something. What is this? Since this is not a chord lesson on color notes, I'm going to just tell you guys. This is the 4th scale degree if we were in the key of C minor. So when we have a C minor chord and we add the 4th, we could call that a C minor 4 or a C minor 11. So Glory, to answer your question, maybe you didn't even know, but you were building a C minor 11 chord. That's pretty cool. It's one of my favorite chords, actually. But I would probably voice it more like that. Okay? That's for a more advanced lesson. Okay? To answer your question, it's not a major chord, but it's still a chord. And to that point, any group of intervals will make a chord. It's just going to be called something different depending on what the intervals are. So let's go ahead and move into what I want to talk about, which is major versus minor chords, okay? We often talk about this in like, oh, major chord is this, minor chord, you just flat the third. Okay. But what if you don't know what the major chord is to start? How do you know how to make the minor chord? All right. Also, if you're looking at a piece of music, a notation, and you see a chord, do you know off the bat if that's a major or minor chord? Not necessarily. And if you just know that you flat the third of a major chord to get minor, that's not enough for you to figure out on your own what kind of chord you're looking at. So that's what I want to talk about now. We already did a bit of this legwork. We talked about how to build a major chord using half steps. 4 half steps up for the first one, 3 half steps up for the second one. That's a major chord. So minor chord actually has a formula as well. And in fact, it's pretty easy. We're just going to flip this. We're going to invert this 4 and 3 rule, okay? This 4 half steps and then 3 half steps rule. All we're going to do is flip that. So first we start on our root, and if we're looking for a minor chord, we want to count up 3 half steps first. 1, 2, 3. Then 4 half steps from there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And guess what? We still end up with our outer interval of a perfect fifth. So a major chord and a minor chord both have the 1 and the 5. That makes a perfect fifth. The difference is the third. Is it a major third interval from the root? Or is it a minor third interval from the root? Okay? So here comes a pop quiz. Ding, 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 ding. What I'm going to do is play some chords, and I want you guys to tell me if it's a major chord or a minor chord. It'd be easy if I just played one of these C chords again, right? Because I just showed you those. But I'm going to switch my root. So you're going to have to count with half steps. So here's a brief refresher, okay? Everyone get ready. If I say, what chord is this? The first thing you're going to do is count the intervals from the bottom note. If I have 4 half steps between my root and my next note, that's a major third interval. That's going to tell us that we're playing a major chord. So you count 4 half steps up, your answer would be major. Okay? On the flip side, if I say, what chord is this? You count up from the root and there's only 3 half steps. The answer to that is going to be minor. Okay? Let's give this a shot. I'm looking for the first correct answer on this one. I'm going to start out of the gate with something tricky, okay? What kind of a chord is this? Everybody see that? First correct answer. Hit me. I would not play this way, except for I want to show you guys, I want to make sure you can see the notes and not have my fingers in the way, so I'm playing it like a claw right now. But it's these notes. Is this a major chord or a minor chord? Andrew is going to pick the first correct answer. I think he's got it.
Tina Miller.
Tina Miller. Hey-o! Tina Miller, you got a free song credit. Nice job. All right, here's another one, guys. Get ready. This time I'm looking for the second correct answer. You don't want to be the quickest, but you still want to be quick, okay? Ready? Major or minor? Go. Second correct answer, major or minor? Count those half steps up from the root. Second correct answer. Can't tell? Okay, let's check.
Still answering from the last question.
Oh, sure. So you know what? Since the delay, we're going to give you guys a little more time. And I'm going to play a brand new song that I'm going to make up on the spot. We got to have some answers now.
Let's go with Woodsy.
Okay. Where is it? Yeah. So what we should do next time is maybe you'll put a comment down, Andrew, that just kind of clears it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're looking for the second one, and I think we messed up on our end, guys, because it's unclear to us if people are still writing from the last answer. This delay is tricky. So I think what I might do moving forward is spread out these questions for the pop quizzes just a little more, just in case. All right. I see some people writing in for sure. They're getting the correct root. They're saying, some people are saying a G sharp chord or an A flat chord. I would accept either. But the chord I played was this right here. And so when we're counting up half steps, here's what we have to do. We start from our root, and it's very important that you guys remember this. Do not count the root when you're counting half steps. You got to start on the root, then count as you move up. If you count the root, you're going to get the wrong count. And right now, I'm looking at a G sharp minor chord, or I would have accepted A flat minor. And the reason it's minor is because the distance between this note and this note is not 4 half steps, but 3. We don't count the root, and then we go 1, 2, 3. If you did count the root, you would have got 4, and that would have given you major, right? So make sure you don't count the root. The correct answer was A flat or G sharp minor. And Andrew, did you pick a winner? Woodsy Chris. Beautiful. Okay. Congratulations, Woodsy Chris. Cool. There's a free song credit for you. All right, now, I'm going to touch on 2 other kind of chords that we can build with intervals. We'll just stay on this major and minor world for a second, but I just want to show you 2 more. We're going to talk about augmented and diminished, because there are formulas for that too. And when we're in this world of theory, formulas can always help, right? It helps us kind of have rules that we can really just learn and rely on, okay? So, major, start on the root, you go up 4 half steps, go up 3 half steps. Minor, flip that. Start on the root, go up 3 half steps, go up 4 half steps. Diminished. Diminished is a chord that is a little more crunchy than a major or minor chord. This is a diminished chord. The cool thing about diminished chords is that it's all intervals of minor thirds. All right, first correct answer gets a free song credit. How many half steps do you have to count up in an interval of a minor third? First answer, hit me. I'm going to keep going, but Andrew's going to pick the winner here, okay? A diminished chord is all minor thirds. So you start on the root, you go up that many half steps, go up that many half steps. If you keep going up by that many half steps, or minor thirds, you will have a diminished chord going all the way up the keyboard. All right, I think we have an answer from Andrew.
Tina Miller.
Tina Miller! Good work. Okay, cool. So, diminished, all minor thirds. That's all you got to remember. And in fact, it's actually hard to tell what the root of a diminished chord is sometimes when we're out of context, when we don't see it in a song, because it's all the same interval, so it kind of can like turn on its own head. And there's no real clear root, okay? So it's kind of cool in that way. It's all minor third intervals, or as Tina said, 3 half steps. Now, an augmented chord is kind of the flip side of that. It's all major thirds, okay? And it's all 4 half steps. So we'll start on C again. We'll count up 4. There's a major third. But we're going to go up another set of 4, another major third interval. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's another crunchy chord. Just inverting it, but that's the chord. It's a C augmented chord. Another way to think about an augmented chord would be a major chord with a sharp 5th. And in fact, diminished has one of those too. You could think about diminished as a minor chord with a flat 5th, okay? But this is all important. When we see stuff in notation, guys, we can count this stuff up and we can identify chords now in music. Let's not forget how big of a deal that is. When you open up any piece of music in the Playground app, in the song store, intermediate or advanced, if you see a triad in the music, you now can count up and tell me if that's major, minor, diminished, or augmented. That's pretty sweet, right? All right, final pop quiz question of the night, you guys. I'm looking for the 3rd correct answer. Who can tell me what this chord is? You're going to have to count the half steps between both of the intervals we see in this triad. What did I say? First correct answer? Third correct answer. Thank you. What is this chord right here? Ooh, I love that one. Count those half steps, everybody. The options are major chord, minor chord, diminished chord, augmented chord. We know that a major chord has 4 half steps from the root and then 3. A minor chord has 3 half steps up and then 4. Diminished chord has 3 half steps, then 3 half steps. And an augmented chord has 4 half steps and 4 half steps. See what we're doing here? So what is this chord? You don't have to tell me what the root is. You can just tell me the quality. Major, minor, diminished, or augmented. And we're looking for the 3rd correct answer. We got it? Okay. Oh man, I'm not going to do a good job of pronouncing your name, but we have a winner, and this person's name is spelled Servymed, BVI. Congratulations, my friend. I'm sorry I couldn't pronounce your name, but I thank you for chiming in, and you got the right answer, man. E-flat augmented. This person writes E-flat aug, short for augmented, and that is the chord that has all major third intervals. So, quick review. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you got 4 half steps there, you were right. And then from this one, we go 1, 2, 3, 4. Another 4. So remember, 4 half steps, augmented. Great job. That's all for the quizzes for today, guys. So good job, everyone who won. Next week, same time, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be getting into some rhythm stuff, rhythmic theory, and we're going to have a whole other set of pop quiz questions for you, so you have another chance to win some more free song credits. For those of you who have already won more than once, I really do hope that you'll still participate next week, but let's also let some other people win too, huh? Okay, cool. What I'd like to do, guys, is just jump back into the chat one more time. I just want to see if there's any questions I missed, and then we're going to get out of here for the day, okay? All right. You guys are awesome. It's really cool that you're joining us every week. And, you know, I was telling Aiden before the lesson started, I'm watching you guys chat with each other before the video even started. That's super cool to watch. There's this whole community here around Playground Sessions, and I'm like, every day I'm taken aback by it. It's very cool. So thank you to everyone who has watched a live lesson or is a Playground app user. Just got to say that. But it's been very fun. So here we go. Oh, Sarah had to leave early. Is that what I'm seeing? Okay. Well, bye, Sarah. We'll see you next time. Same time next week. All right. Well, hey, I'm seeing a ton of answers, which means you guys are very engaged students for the day. And that's great. I'm not seeing many questions. That means you guys were focused on what we were doing today. I'm happy with that. So I guess what I'll do today is just leave it with a little bit of what's new. I just want to highlight this 30-day challenge one more time. I don't want to like pound it in your heads too much, but just in case some people joined late and couldn't see it earlier, we've launched a brand new course today in the Playground Sessions app. If you don't have the app yet, you can take advantage of a free trial. The link is somewhere in the chat from Andrew to it's playgroundsessions.com/YouTube free trial, okay? If you have the app already, then go to the course tab, find the 30-day challenge, And if you go in there right now, you're going to just see day 1. That's because today is day 1. We posted that today. Tomorrow, you're going to see a new one in there. That's day 2. And every day as we go for 30 days, we're going to give you a new lesson. And that lesson isn't just going to be interactive notation in the app, although it will also have that. Every single lesson is going to have multiple videos from me walking you through every note, every rhythm of a rookie/intermediate level arrangement of Scott Joplin's The Entertainer, okay? That is just one section of it. And then we do that again. We do that part, we do it again. And then we do the whole ending. That's the actual arrangement that we're going to be learning together over the next, 29 days now. By day 30, you're going to be playing all of that, even if day 1 today was your first day at the keyboard. And even if today wasn't your first day at the keyboard, this arrangement is still going to be challenging enough that I think you'll still have some fun if you're an intermediate player as well. So I just wanted to do one more plug of the 30-day challenge. We're really excited about it. And it's all about building this routine for yourself. It doesn't even really matter what your scores are in this 30-day challenge. Although, of course, I'm giving you the tools you need to get those high scores. And if you practice enough, you will get high scores. But that's not even what this is about. The 30-day challenge is about clocking in every day and committing to building a habit and building a practice routine. I cannot stress to you guys how crucial that is, especially for us adults who are busy and we have so much going on, so many excuses that are valid. We got to push that stuff to the side. We got to just clock in for some practice time. That's what this 30-day challenge is all about, and that's why I'm pumped about it. So please do yourself a favor, check that out. I'll see you guys next week. We'll be on day 8 of the 30-day challenge by then, and we'll be doing our very next lesson on theory for this theory month. Next week, we're talking about rhythm. I will see you guys there, same time, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Bye. And this is called an augmented triad. So we got major. For dominant 7 chords, we have a major triad with a flat 7. It's very similar to what Harry showed, but it has a bit more of a bluesy feel. So